Like Bitcoin popped up, all those ideas hit the consciousness. All this crap was built. 90% of it was scams. People just doing evil to extract value. And then hopefully we're going to come back together here with a set of core technologies
it's already done that. We've had
that are
three
going
monstrous
to
bear
be
markets
huge.
in 2018.
The
funnest part of the crypto space is the capital destruction. And that's a sign of a real market.
Yeah.
Like a feature of capitalism is destruction.
Yes.
Destruction.
Right. The fraud is in not letting it die.
And the stock market, to its credit,
That's a good point.
used to put politicians in their place
Yes.
for their chicanery. And now it's been weaponized.
Yeah.
And who has it been weaponized against? Us and our families and friends.
Right.
So while I may, hear, let's pick on one, ICP, like dozens of narratives on no and dozens of narratives on yes. Well, the cool thing about it is you can put a bug bounty out. It's open source. Someone can go and fix or propose a new idea. Like these things aren't dead or not dead. And it's a really interesting feature of the entire space. So what I look at is super investable, and this is in our portfolio, are fully diluted projects, meaning there's no more token unlocks, right? So you don't have this double-digit inflation overhang
Right.
on new token issuance. Plus, noting that one of the main reasons I love Bitcoin is its non-human aspect. When you're removing the predatory venture capitalists, vulture capitalists, right, and the private equity groups and stupid, impatient, moronic investors who all just want their fix now because they're idiots and don't know how to invest properly, those have harmed every project. Major projects like Cosmos or Celestia, or there's countless examples where these poor founders have been predated on, not by shitcoinery, but by the legacy financial system which they had to tap into to get their project off the ground.
Right.
And yeah, their token might be down 95% off its so-called high, but you can't look at the token, the protocol, the use cases, the founders, and blame them for all of that when you didn't help finance their. Did you?
100%.
So,
and that's been the whole, one of the main reasons why ByteFederal has been profitable during all of these bear markets. Friends and families, we raised 500 grand, and we've been profitable since inception, because we didn't go out and bastardize the company by taking stupid deals right. So we have 3 founders that have the vast majority of the equity in the company, and they just fight the fight and just keep growing.
That's why I'm sitting here.
It's an amazing.
You guys are fortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
And understand the game. And here we're coming to the ninth inning.
The ninth inning
of a 2,700-year game. Specifically, the American experience, a 111-year game. And if we want to win, we got to fight.
So that's I like the way you frame that, right? You got the American experience. You've got this, what I think most of our audience is aware of, this fourth turning that's happening in America. But behind that is the bigger global fourth turning, we'll call it. Maybe describe because I know you are a student of history, with depth of knowledge in that arena. How do you see this big global cycle and this American cycle coming together at this point in history?
It's a lot to swallow.
Yeah, it's a big conversation.
The money changers have been able to augment and extend the synchronicity that would have naturally occurred between what we call grand super cycle. Some people call it K-wave. Depends on what ilk you are. But roughly, it's at the degree of the fall of Rome.
That K cycle, or the K wave, is 250-year cycle?
255.
244,
the Fibonacci number.
Okay.
What it's proven to be, what it's fit over, looking backwards, because the Russian scientist Kondratiev came up with this,
right, are
essentially the generational and multi-generational cycles. So there's a cadence at 50, 51 year, and a cadence at 240, 250. Why? because it's 4 generations, right?
Dude, it just dawned on me what we were talking about at lunch, that epigenetics might play a role in the congenitive cycle.
Yes. We literally just said that.
Yeah.
And not might, not may might, it is.
Yeah.
All of these things are creative, and people want to like narrow to one prism to look through things at. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just cannot. So I try and do what I call weight of the evidence analysis. And then luckily for us, truth resonates higher than false. My heart and mind and soul have been tuned to lean towards that higher resonance. And we do a probability distribution, and we want to be on the side of probability. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to that level, you're okay. All right, 20% of the time you lose. Cool. Yeah. Do I get to learn stuff? Yes. Yeah. Is it a tax write-off in hedge funds world?
Right, yeah. Because you can be right on with your ideas and off on your timing.
And timing's again one prism.
Yeah,
and timing's
it's just one component of the whole picture.
No time. There's multiple timelines. Blah blah blah. Maybe your audience isn't ready to hear that, but nonetheless, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think the point you're making is there's this coalescence of declining forces, even at the astrological level, but at the same time, there's the rise, both in the spiritual side and astrological, as well as the philosophical and financial. And we're lucky that the way humanity has the cards dealt, we have global communication systems, centralized and decentralized. We have the ability to transact in seconds and or minutes without someone telling us we can't or can't. And then largely, at least in America, we have modern weaponry. Mm-hmm. So the ability to turn the tide in the face of this transition is probably more in our favor than it's ever been in human history. Right. I mean, look at the last turning.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
8% of American colonies men changed the fate of the planet the last 310 years.
Right.
So it doesn't take much.
Doesn't take much. So you have a hopeful view. Then I'm taking away from that despite all the doom and gloom, despite the seemingly massive divide, I don't know how much of that is social influence.
What massive divide?
The divide between red and blue, the divide between straight and LGBTQ, and the divide between Ukraine war and Russia and blah, 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 blah.
First off, all wars are bankers' wars.
Yes.
So those aren't real wars.
Yes.
Israel.
But people believe they're real. And that's what I'm getting at when I start saying the divide.
Really. They really don't.
Well, at least
they believe the illusion that they're real.
Yes. That's right. And that's what I meant by the social influence.
Now, for the 610,000 Ukrainian boys who've died, it's
fucking real. Yeah.
And my heart bleeds for them. It is a horrific thing that everybody in the West and every human is just sitting there tolerating the mass slaughter
fucked up.
Of human beings. And
anywhere that's happening.
War on so-called terror, 9/11 onward, they're still allegedly terrorists. So they lost that. What was that about? Transfer of wealth. Every single one of them, transfer of wealth. And then also a destruction of private property rights, a destruction of history, a destruction of beautiful architecture. All these things are multifaceted agendas by the money changers. Every single war since Napoleon has been structured and financed by them, including the ones now. And notice in America, post-World War II, every war that we've had since then, save Vietnam, has been a proxy. Why has it been a proxy? Because the will of the people and the consciousness, like it was in World War I and World War II, 89% of people didn't want to go to war.
Yeah.
That's not human position is, battle.
Right.
Especially when Iran's not our enemy, China's not our enemy, Russia's not our enemy. Sorry, folks, that's not the case.
I don't think people understand that they can say no.
Well, it's binary, yes or no.
Again, I don't think people understand that they can say no and not participate, right?
Can you bet on both black and red at the same time?
No.
Yeah, you can.
At the roulette wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. In varying amounts, right?
Yes.
Okay, why can't you say no to some and yes to some? Or yes and no?
Yeah, but the average person wants to take a side, right?
The coalescence of these multi cycles, there's not going to be room.
The whole point of this is
there's not going to be room for the average person.
The whole point of me saying this is, how do we get people, myself included, to stand up and say, no. Right? I mean, people had
Do
a
you want my
people
opinion,
had a
or do you want the
I'm asking your-
historical answer?
Both.
My opinion is that time has come and gone, and that the
Okay.
people who have not prepared are going to be eliminated. There are people who are on their 10th vaccine shot, Paul.
Right.
I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't want to alienate anyone, and I don't want to harm or offend anyone. Obviously, I'm a super
Right.
peaceful team humanity person, but historically, it's when the boot's on your neck that people start revolting.
Right.
Well, my fellow Americans, the boot has been on your neck,
Yeah.
in your face since 1913.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest ByteFederal ATM and turn your cash to coin. ByteFederal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, ByteFederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.